A warm welcome from my side. I'm really excited to be here today and speak to you about how to build an enterprise-level agentic AI solution. Before I start, a couple of words about myself. I'm Malte Greulich. I'm the Chief Data and Security Scientist at Swisper. Swisper is a startup based in beautiful Zurich, Switzerland, and we are developing an agentic AI platform. And briefly, before I get into any of these slides, let me unpack what agentic AI really means. We've heard quite a lot in the last 2 days and today about AI and how it's been used across industries to empower the next level of innovations. With agentic AI, we're trying to take AI a step further and giving it the capabilities in a constrained and secure fashion to do more and to act more. What we often see with AI solutions these days, that they are kind of stuck in what we call an FAQ mode, or they kind of become an FAQ machine. So you connect an AI to data and you have a browser interface, and this makes the next XYZ GPT model. And that's where most of these AI initiatives start, because it's a quick win, because it helps you gain speed in the AI race. But it's also often where they stop. They are often not deeply integrated into the business processes, and it's really hard, right? Getting the right data is hard. Getting AI integrated into real processes and services is really hard. But that's why where we see that AI is getting often to a dead end, because it's not going further than kind of retrieving information and trying to make sense of it. What we also do see is that a real helpful assistant does more than just reply to a message and that just came up to your mind. A real assistant has some kind of context, has some memory, has something that it knows about you. And that's something that we also often see lacking in today's AI systems. But what do customers actually want? They want more than just a machine that is able to talk. They want something to be done with that information. It needs to be integrated into their business processes. So customers want an assistant that acts and not a website that talks. So at Swisper, we are a team of experts in the financial markets industry, and we also have quite some experiences in developing enterprise-level software. This is where our team comes from. So we have quite some experience in the pitfalls and complexity, especially in the financial area and the banking area, where these initiatives are often failing. So based on that background, we have now developed Swisper, which is an agentic AI platform that is able to do more and trying to bridge the gap from today's FAQ-based chatbots to become more of an integrated solution that really helps bring business processes to life with the help of AI. A couple of aspects that I want to unpack here. The key foundation of all AI solutions needs to be a secure and protected foundation. As we have all known in the last couple of months and years, with the rise of AI is also quite some rise of cybersecurity risks, and with the use of AI by criminals, this even gets even faster and more dangerous than it has been ever before. So in order to get an agentic AI solution, the foundation needs to be a solid and highly secured environment in order to let agentic AI do something more than just retrieving data. And even retrieving data can be quite a critical thing, as we've also all seen the incident where CRM data got sent out to the public or to an attacker, which should never happen, obviously. In today's presentation, I want to focus more on a live demo of our system Swisper, and also how we use our product called Swisper Studio to actually develop agentic AI solution. So let me jump into the solution and show you how it looks like. So to start with, since we are based in Switzerland, let me start with an example about the weather. Wie ist das Wetter in Zürich heute?
Also, ich habe gerade nachgeschaut. Das Wetter in Zürich heute sieht so aus. Es ist etwa 8 Grad und ziemlich regnerisch. Die Niederschlagschance liegt bei ungefähr 80%. Es wird wohl den ganzen Tag nass bleiben. Nimm am besten den Schirm mit, wenn du rausgehst.
Kannst du das noch einmal auf Hochdeutsch wiederholen?
Also, ich habe leider nichts zum Wiederholen, da das der Anfang unseres Gesprächs ist. Wenn Sie möchten, können wir gerne das Thema beginnen und ich kann dann später auf Ihre Bitte reagieren, etwas zu wiederholen.
Okay, so yes, we are using different voice models, and this was the Swiss voice model, but there is also multi-language support in here, which will help you understand what you're actually hearing. But it's a good use case also to show how far we have come with voice generation models. If you remember a couple of years back, these were quite bad, and now we even get a good dialect in, so these really have become helpful. So what you see right now is our Swisper application, and it's kind of a chat assistant, but in the background we have this multi-agent system running. So this was one example where you saw that the system has used the research agent in the background and to retrieve some weather data. But there are other use cases that we can empower with Swisper, and just I can show you one example with emails. Since I'm in Frankfurt today, I have a dinner invitation from a friend Sven, so I will try to reply to that dinner invitation and also help organize my calendar. So I'm just asking the system about an invitation that I've received from Sven. So it's quite informal way of asking about an email, and I'm asking if the system can reply to that email that I'm happy to join. Ah, okay. Yes, let me do that. So he was now trying to generate the email, but I want him to. Yes, so right now I asked him to please check my emails on Sven's emails from on dinner on Friday. So what the system does, it classifies your intention, and based on the intention, it reaches out to different agents. And that easy example, okay. Okay, I think this example didn't work right now. So what we see here is that developing agentic AI is not as easy as everybody makes it to be. So that should be fine. Let me jump out of that example for a bit and show you the development side of things. So this is just the front end of how the agentic system is working. On the back end, we have a product called Swisper Studio that is allowing companies but also ourselves to develop and to monitor the development and of these agents. Because as you might imagine, it's not only about having an AI connected to a chat interface. There's much more complexity hidden behind that. The system needs to be able to identify the correct tool to use, the current agent to use, and that's where the complexity lies. So when I open this project, and in this Swisper Studio project, I have a couple of options. So it's basically a core part of monitoring AI systems. It's really the ability to trace from prompts to results. And with AI systems, this has become much more complicated than with traditional software. Because of the probabilistic aspect of AI, you sometimes get quite different responses for the same prompt. And this is a really difficult situation for developers these days. In the previous world, when a developer has committed a code and it worked and all tests were green, everything was fine. And there was there are always differences in production, but with AI systems, this has become much more challenging. Because a prompt, because it's probabilistic, it can lead to quite different outputs every time you ask it. So a core part of understanding what a system, an AI system, an agentic AI system does is trying to connect the dots from I have a prompt and I have a result, how it got from the intention to the real action. So in this system, in order to enable this observability and also traceability, we can use the tracing area in order to view the view the prompts and how the system went through the. Let me enrich that a bit. Went through the whole system in order to get to the the result that I want. So, and this is where actually the magic happens. You can really see, and let me switch to the graph view to make it more easier to understand. So you really see that, even by looking at the scale of this or the complexity behind this, there is quite something happening in the background. So in this case, we have the global supervisor directing all the actions that needs to be taken by the agentic system. And then it's going to the agent execution, trying to go to the productivity agent, which is our wrapper of all use cases related to email and calendar. And this is where potentially also the error has happened. But this is to show that there's quite some complexity in identifying everything that is related to one single prompt. So it's oftentimes not just a prompt and one AI system that is responding. The complexity is much more complicated. What you can also see here is how what times the prompt has been spent in different areas of the system. So we see that the largest part of the prompt was in the productivity agent, in the agent execution. So that's where we also see the error, why the email search didn't work. So that's good for us to understand. What the system also does, it helps you understand if you build an agentic AI solution to really connect these AI systems and understand how they work together. We have seen this in the instance of a particular prompt, but it's also possible to, if you build a multi-agent system, and as you see on the left-hand side, our system is using multiple agents. We have seen the weather agent working. We have seen the research, the productivity agent working. So these are different agents that are specific for particular domains. And this view is really important for the development of agentic software, because it helps you understand how do you get from one node to another, and how these nodes are engaged and lead to the respective results that you are looking for. Another important part, and I've touched upon that already, is the development of proper system prompts. So a large part now of developing agentic AI software is really trying to help the AI to do the things that you want to do. So in this particular example, when I look at the global planner, which is our node that is helping to identify what needs to be done, maybe across agents. If you want to reply to an email and create a calendar invite, that's how the system is doing that. It creates a plan, and this is the responsibility of the global planner. For development purposes, you often need to enrich these large system prompts that are going into the LLM, and these prompts can be tweaked using that system. So you have a state that contains all the variables that you can feed in, and by putting it in here, you can test out different versions of your prompt. So this tool is really helpful in order to, and if you run tests, you can actually try different models and connect different models and see which model fits best. A core part of our solution is that we use the best model for the purpose. So we don't have one GPT-5 in the background or one Quen model in the background. We really choose the model that is best suited for the particular use case. And that's an important part of also why we are choosing a multi-model approach and not one single model. So there are other possibilities in here. You can try to monitor costs. That's also an important part of managing large language models. So depending on the model, there are different costs attached to it. So this will give you the flexibility to manage the costs and also understand which prompts are costing you how much, which is quite an important piece of that. So let me check one other use case just to see if I can show you another demo. So one part of Swisper is a node that is called memory. So we are really trying to mimic how an assistant would work. And this is giving the tool the ability to remember facts about you. Because if every time you open an application, it starts from scratch, it doesn't have a context, that's not really helpful, right? So let me try to buy a new iPhone. So what I told the system before is that I have an iPhone 15 Pro. So what the system does, it has remembered this fact about me, that I have an iPhone 15 Pro, and it directly takes that into account when getting such a prompt. So it dynamically looks, okay, is there any fact that is relevant for this particular search? And then it's taking that into account when formulating a response, and also when trying to interpret and help with the user's intent. And that can be really powerful because it enables the system to remember facts about you and use that during the generation of responses. And this is quite powerful because it has a state, it has a context, it has something to work with more than just the prompt that the user is putting into. So let me check for iPhone prices. So what this does is it's trying to find now iPhone prices, and this is another research task. So in this particular example, the research agent is being used in order to find this particular information. Let me try to refresh. It's a demo system. It doesn't mean that it's perfect right now. So again, the system is trying to get from the intent to an action. And now, as you see, the research planner is engaged, and the research planner has access to a tool that is able to do shopping researches. So that's how you get from an intent to an action. Okay, I believe that, okay, so we have no prices here, so there might be again an error in the backend, but that's how it is with demo systems. But the intention is clear. Based on an intent, you can get to any action that you want. Let me switch back to the presentation for a bit. So as you've seen, agentic AI development is fun, but it's also challenging. So what we do at Swisper is we have 3 ways in which corporations can use agentic AI platforms. One way is to use Swisper as a white label solution. There is, for us, it's we understand that businesses often have their own infrastructure needs and also their own potentially models that they run, and data is the most critical aspect of that. If there are highly sensitive data to be processed, to be stored, there is potentially a high risk or the need to run that on your own infrastructure. And with our white label solution of Swisper, we enable that and enable you to use Swisper and the agentic capabilities in order to run this on your own infrastructure. With the Swisper Studio software that you have seen and also our SDK, we can also empower you to build agentic AI software yourself. And this is where the Studio platform comes in really handy, because it combines everything from setting up a new project, understanding traces, understanding system prompts, and developing this into really useful agents. That's where most of the magic behind agentic AI development happens. And the other thing that we can do is, since we have quite some experience in industries, but also now in the development of agentic AI, we can co-innovate with you and co-develop agentic AI software, which is for us a really interesting area, because we can we learned a lot during developing Swisper, and we can happily transfer that knowledge to you and help you gain a bit more speed in developing agentic software. Just a quick view on the architecture behind, and we've seen a couple of these things working. We start all with an intent classification. This is where we define if we need to use an agent or if we can simply directly answer the question. If you think of a copy editing task, rewriting an email, that probably doesn't really need the capabilities of any of these agents, because the models that are actually, they are smart enough to do that. So in that particular case, you won't need an agent. It goes directly to the user and with a response. What you also see on the left-hand side is the memory node. This is where we, for each prompt, identify if there are any relevant facts stored in the system that will enrich the prompt. And this is really powerful. What then happens is the system goes to the global planner in order to define on specific actions, and this is where we connect different domains. One domain that we have seen is the email domain or the productivity agent, where you can look at calendars, look at emails, but there are also other domains. Our system is also connected to a banking platform, which is called WealthOS. So you could retrieve transaction data or client data through this domain, and these domains are fully encapsulated. So one domain doesn't have any kind of access to another domain. And this system, it looks easy, but there is quite some logic built in, and we've learned quite a lot while developing the agentic system. So last but not least, the team behind Swisper. We have our two founders, Christian and Heiko. I'm actually replacing Christian today because he got sick. So that's why you see me on stage today. But we are overall quite an experienced team, and it's we are happy to meet with you and help you on your agentic AI journey. So if there's any questions, and I'm afterwards happy to join, and I'm really looking forward to discussing the challenges that you have in your AI and agentic AI journeys with you. Thanks a lot.